Testing 1, 2, 3. Huh? Well, we kind of decided last night, like, what's the point? Like, what's one more day? No, I'm not. I mean, I don't know how else is. Oh, switch to FaceTime. Or Bentley. Bentley, come here. No, I'm at work. Dude, tell me. No, and dude, I totally forgot today was the election. So we have a board meeting today. We have 3 board meetings today. Yeah, no, I asked them to come here. Cause I know how to set it up. So live stream it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Cynthia or somebody would be able to. They're not stupid. No. Most likely. Or maybe like careers. They would have some of them. So. Dude, I'm tired. Oh my gosh, we went roller skating last night. It was roller skating. The girl, this one place in Chino. I know. Like we went in and they were like, no, this all that. But it was so I haven't roller skated year. And I was really not fun. Period, huh? Thank you.
Thanks.
So Jim, new business.
You know, I did tell you I won't be here on the 30th.
You did.
We got, they didn't have.
Rule standards and all
Oh, they
that.
did, yeah, maybe it was, yeah. I really do.
I'm trying to get a hold of.
I did have one question.
Yeah.
Just asking, so. We have.
Right.
Deadline here in case we want.
Yeah, yeah, we'll just do it. Maybe, here.
Can you add to it before they write the check?
Yeah, we need we need to have our
Oh, you must build it.
guy.
We got it right Saturday, yeah.
You know, it's not following, that's right. We gotta have our,
No, I mean, as long as we're under our, but, you know. From that moving forward, you know. they have-
Yeah.
And we have that extra brown. We get, have that, you know, So that would be smart.
Okay, I don't know about
We
anything
know,
else,
I mean,
but
it's a learning process.
this is a little embarrassing.
it's a lot embarrassing.
Were you like that one? What do you think I will? I was talking to her. And one of the other one was.
You coming to the board meeting? Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get a hold of X-Ram. Okay, all right, thanks. X-Ram's on his way.
I picked mine the other day. Oh, it's new stuff. Okay. Oh.
Can't slam.
My phone's on.
I guess you can slam the ball.
I kept
You can't
your
slam
radio.
it, but it's cold enough.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
We have two board members we're waiting on. They ran into a lot of traffic,
Yeah.
Probably.
a whole lot of traffic.
Of
It's
course.
been really busy around here lately.
Yeah, they couldn't play through.
It's amazing we made it here, right, Bill? Yeah.
We left early. Yeah.
Well, look at it this way, your guys' odds of winning a gift card are pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Eric, you have that.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have it with me, but that one proposed rule change regarding.
Oh, okay.
employees.
Yeah.
Do you have that printed out?
It's just on the agenda.
Okay, is it worded on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I'll get you. Yeah, I know, I'm checking him out there, so.
Yeah, we've already got it, so. Man, he's scrolling.
First thing I do is check the use that to get a deck to sit on. Yeah.
Well, the problem is we have to wrap this up quickly. They gotta be able to count
You
the.
might want to rethink that.
Well, why can't they count your hours?
But other than that.
Because they're not counting them in here.
See, we,
I remember.
But what if they count them in the open air out there?
They gotta count in here. He's gotta be in contained area.
we got executive.
No, we have an executive, after the other meeting.
Harbor was.
So, yeah, 10,
Hey, bro, what's
10:30, 11.
Sorry, I'm late. Well, you're not late, it's extra on this late, so as long as you're not the last one.
Right.
Hey, a buddy of mine went hunting for big game in Africa,
Okay.
and the guide told him, I will protect you from lions, leopards, elephants, all this, but if you run into a black rhino, he says, and it's gonna kill you, I won't do anything about it, because his livelihood is done. So essentially, he told him, you do not have to be the fastest runner in the group, you just can't be the slowest.
Right.
And literally, and in that trip, they had to run for it.
Wow.
Black rhino protected?
Yeah, most guys won't get up there. life is the state of life on that. Steve Extrand is in the house.
Yeah, I had to, so he started to be late, but I had to get paid off, you know?
Yeah,
And
I
I
saw
could
you.
walk away from my bed.
Thought I saw your card out there on.
Okay,
Apparently the course was in need of having some juice swept off of it,
Oh,
and we volunteered
okay.
to get rid of the dew.
okay. So now that we've had due process, we're ready to go.
You do process.
Let me process
A
that.
little early for that. Quality of
Okay,
time.
let's catch your breath for half a second and then we'll go ahead and start the pledge.
I'm good. Not that good, but here.
Hey, Denise, would you like to lead us? You got it.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Late all. All right, you don't have one of these, do you? Oh,
Yeah, we got.
here, I'll share one with you.
Well, I need to take notes.
Oh, do you?
You want the agenda?
Yeah, here, I'll give this one to him and let me one of you. Okay. We need the approval of the board minutes. Steve Extrand,
Okay, do we have minutes from March 13th? Do we have anything for
They
that?
weren't quite completed.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's just skip that. We'll put the hold on that. Till next meeting, or if we do that little organizational meeting or. But the next open session, I'd like to make a motion to approve open session minutes from February 25th, 2023. And executive session minutes from March 22nd, 2023.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll just hold that off until this afternoon, open. We can do it then, I guess, right?
I just need.
Because we do have an open meeting.
We just had,
Afternoon.
me and Susan had, we were just needing to talk. about
Right,
things,
then we
and
can get, then we can go ahead and we can throw those in. Be nice to be able to get it done.
Yeah, it's
today.
not very important.
Okay. Member comments, Eddie, you want to wait until new business on yours? Okay, did anybody else have any comments, from the members? Okay, next up is, general manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to say special thanks to Tim Hagan, Larry Carrigu for building the temporary bocce courts. And so just so people know, it's just down by where the pool pumps are, on just on the north side of the tennis courts. We just put it right on the grass with some bumpers and things like that. But yesterday did a little educational seminar on how to play bocce. We had about 30 people show up for that. So that was quite fun, and it was a nice day out there. So I think people had a good time. So we're gonna get a little cabinet down there and put the balls in and things like that, so people can go down there and play whenever they want, just adding to the amenities.
Yeah,
And then it was also proposed down there to see a show of hands who would be interested in croquet. So there was about 5 or 6 people that raised their hands. So that's another venue we're gonna be looking at too, to add to that. For the February 2023 financial report, revenue was under budget by 11,315. Expenses were below budget by $51,363. For the month, we were better than budget by 40,000, but some of these items like the audit costs and things like that were booked in March. And we budget them in February, so some of these things will catch up in the next month. On income statement, you'll see that it shows a net profit of 163,808. But just a reminder, I'll bring this up each month, but 54,000 of that reflects as a revenue to G&A, which was billed for the special assessment dues, then is transferred into the reserves. Food and beverage operations were over budget by $7,145. Gross revenue for the month was under budget by 11,366. Golf shop operations overall 19,000 better than budget. The highlight there, revenue and green fees and carts were better than budget by 11,490. G&A showed an overall $18,211 better than budget. Highlight, like I said, some of the expenses that were going to be booked in or were budgeted in February but booked in March. Golf course maintenance overall was $15,595 better than budget. Clubhouse was over budget by $3,553. Natural gas prices, the highlight here, natural gas prices were over budgeted by $7,416. The inn over budget by $2,449. Highlight here, the total revenue was down by $3,120. Pool and rec over budget by $525, but the revenue was under budget by $1,565. So far for the year, overall, we are $39,917 better than budget. Reserves, $22,245 spent out of reserves in February, and at the end of the month, reserve account balance was $2,719,035, which $159,158 included in this total is still owed to the reserves from the loan. Today, the board will be approving the audit draft, and I want to give a special thank you to David Cadillo, our controller, for a job well done working with the auditors. The audit had 5 adjustments, which 3 of them were adjustments that the auditors do each year. So 2 audit adjustments throughout that whole audit. It was dynamite. And so I just give all the props to David.
We had 24 last year.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna say that here, but yeah, 24 last year, audit adjustments. I want to welcome Mr. Mike Livingston today. He's the HOA manager down at the condos. Brought to my attention that our homeowners are using their common area for like a dog park down there. I just want every homeowner to know here that they pay their own dues for their they pay a vendor to take care of their common area, and we shouldn't be using that as a dog park down there or using it for their dogs in their association. Next week, we have a couple closures for the ladies invitational. Friday night dining room will be closed for this event, and the pool on Saturday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. for this event. They do an outside thing by the pool, or on Saturday they do it out by the pool. We'll close the pool down, and they'll think they do a wine party down there. Food and beverage happenings for April. Bingo night on the 5th and 26th. Easter sunrise service will be right out here on the grass area, 6 a.m. Pastries will be served afterwards and coffee. Easter brunch, we're gonna have 2 seatings at 10 a.m. and a 1 p.m. on Easter Sunday. We'll continue, each Thursday night will be a theme night for the month of April. Theater night is 7 p.m. on April 13th. Karaoke, we have another karaoke coming Friday, April 21st. I think went pretty well last night. It was rocking pretty good. And then we have another line dancing class on April 25th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. to learn how to line dance. ADA bathroom or restroom. Parking lot is prepped and getting ready for asphalt. The sidewalks and approach have been paved as of yesterday. And hopefully by the end of next week, the parking lot will be completed. Next up, we'll be completing the fences around the restroom area and the new entrance gate into the pool area. That's where we're at there. Desert landscape project. Project has been completed and turned over to the water districts for final inspection. And they did call me and tell me the inspection will be coming on the 30th. So next Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. When's the 30th? I think it's Tuesday. So they'll be out here on the 30th for their final inspections. So we had a few comment cards this month. No table linens for Sunday brunch, not acceptable. If we hadn't had brought guests, we would have left. Food was good. I want to thank the board of directors for the appreciation luncheon. It was very much appreciated, and food and fellowship was excellent. To the entire staff, the committee appreciation luncheon was great. Food was outstanding, and we felt appreciated. Paella Monday special was delicious. Hope to see it again. The entertainment at Valentine's Night Day dinner had much to be desired. Dreadful is the word that comes to mind. Great job on the newsletter. I love the way the pages turn and the way it's laid out. Good improvement. Party of 4 for brunch. Fantastic food and service. Tree on the cart path going to number 10 needs to be trimmed. That's been completed. Stairs need carpet cleaned before they get too dirty. That's on the schedule to get tomorrow. The concrete paint is really looking uneven. It should be sandblasted. And that's something we are taking a look down at all the cement here. So I think it's been painted so many times, I don't think it's staking, so.
Plus, it's a little on the slick side when it rains,
At
a
times,
little
yeah.
dangerous.
Thank you, Derek, for calling bingo, had fun. Thank you for not, okay, this is the next one. Thank you for not oversalting the popcorn. Thanks to Madison and all that make it. Please add egg salad to the sandwich menu. We were at the club for a happy hour and dinner, and the food was great and the staff was excellent. No waiting for service. Kudos to Ada, Dawn, Romo. Keep it up, lose your special. And I did receive one from the inn. I don't get many from the inn, but they gave us an excellent on cleanliness, excellent on restaurant service and meal. And meal, he would recommend us to anyone that would like to stay here. So that's good. And that is my report, Jim.
I'd like to add one more comment. We had a party last weekend for my father-in-law. It was his 80th birthday. So we rented about 3 or 4 of those inns for family members. And one of the family members has a little baby, and it kind of barfed all over the bed. Let's put it that way. I don't know how to put it. Anyways, so they had a little situation. They called up here and they couldn't get a hold of anybody. So I went ahead and reached out to Luz to find out if she had somebody that could come in and take care of that. Well, she actually took the bull by the horns and she did the entire thing. She went ahead, not only brought linens in to change, but actually changed the bed. I thought that was really a great move on her part. She just filled in the blanks. She didn't ask didn't complain about it. She just did it, and that was the end of it. So she diffused what could have been a bad night for somebody. And I think she's a special lady and she deserves, at least some kudos on that. So anyways, other than that, next thing we have up is committee reports.
Can I do a member comment?
Yes.
I'm still at war with F&B over bacon. My wife and I are not gonna go to Sunday brunch on Easter because I don't like sausage patties. I don't like the roast. I don't
I
like
can't
pork.
hear you.
I understand that bacon is, 41 cents a slice. But if I have 8 slices of bacon and a waffle, you're losing my $23.99 because you're afraid that I'm gonna lose the club $1 on bacon over sausage or something else. And I think that's the most unreasonable, decision point. We're trying to solve a $300,000 problem in F&B by lowering the food quality, by worrying about 1% on cost of goods sold. And that's not where we're losing 300,000. So that's just my comment on F&B. I was a little upset too on one of the lunches for the member guests. We had a deli day, then we had bread and meat. I mean, there's no cheese. And I asked one of the waiters, and I was like, no, there's no cheese back there. It's like, did you forget a plate? Like, no, cheese wasn't on the deal. It was just ham, turkey, roast beef, bread, and they ran out of mustard. And I was just, okay, I'm gonna have a dry bread and roast beef sandwich. Okay. That was worth $26. And then pasta night. I mean, $35 for pasta night, and they charged us, they took off the dessert and the beverage and they charged us $33 in the member guest tournament. And people looked at me as a board member and I went, trust me, I'm more angry than you are.
Well, that was plus.
This year, I'm so disappointed by the last 12 months. And I don't want to throw anybody here under the table. I was not able to make the change I wanted to make. And it better change in 2023-24. Because to me, food and beverage right now is completely unacceptable and it's got to improve.
To your point on that, we all saw that plus was added into the advertising price on that pasta night, which we all know that pasta night's always historically been in the 20s. And I asked Eric about that myself, and it was put in there, and
$18.95.
so obviously from an advertising standpoint, we wouldn't have totaled that, but that's the answer I got on that. So it was a $28 meal. Okay, $28 meal for what it's worth.
Okay. Well, moving forward, we'll start with the committee reports. Architectural committee, I'm the liaison there. We've been really trying to crack down on weeds. That's been our biggest problem that we've had lately. We do have clarification of a CCNR. It's just an enhancement that we are proposing to be added to the rules and regs. It just makes it a little bit easier to understand. It was a little vague before. That'll be read a little bit later in new business with Dave Stanley. Also has a couple of things. Next up will be the condo association.
This on, or do I just stand here? It's fine.
Well, if you've got a loud
I
voice.
think everybody, I think everybody in the room can see and hear me. That's great. Comment cards, great. Happy you put that on the agenda, right? Everybody. Thanks for having us. Jim, when you get a chance, if you can, your statements, I appreciate that about the dog walking. You and I have talked about this as far back as a year. So whenever you can put that out on your in-house channel, that would be swell as well. Eric just put something out this week about it, but it didn't say anything about the condos. It said about your neighbors and be a good neighbor. It just didn't say anything about be a good neighbor down to the condo association. And with us having, let us, the other residents use our pool and what have you, we want to be good neighbors as well. But, when I've had conversations with people, over the last month, 2 months, you can see it in their face. It's, they're very surprised. It's sociological. I'm a good poker player and I can tell these people that it's systemic, it's institutional. They have been doing this for such a long time. I think it's been a kind of a free, open thing. And again, this is not to be us versus them. It's the opposite. It's to create good harmony and goodwill. We have one of our board members, Walt Dwyer, here, who is more than willing to volunteer to be part of a committee for you, to have a dog park somewhere here in the community, which Eric and I have talked about. You said that you had some area here in the club that might be suitable for that.
Yeah.
We can't wait to help you do that. And streamline this, see how willing we are to help. Great. That's what we have for you.
Yeah. And I think really what people have a misconception, the condos pay for amenities, the same amenities we pay for. They have a separate association, but that property down there is actually private property. We're not really, that's your property.
It is.
Yeah, it would be the same as somebody walking their dog and going in on our lawns and letting them relieve themselves.
No, they come down for one specific purpose and they walk right back out. And we understand somewhere along the line, historically, there was an architectural amendment here where people went from grass in their front yards to desert landscaping, and they're fabulous. The homes here are spectacular. But there's got to be a solution for everybody where, no one's using your beautiful golf course or, here in front of the beautiful clubhouse or anything else, but that's not our property either. Let's work together for a solution.
Right.
Okay.
No problem.
Great. Congratulations on your annual meeting and Mr. Aldridge leading the board after all these years, and nice job. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Now, next up is Bill Aldrich with Finance Committee.
What a lead in. All right, I'd like to move to approve checks over 1,000 from operating and reserve accounts for February 2023.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
I'd like to move to approve the finance and credit reports for February 2023. And the special March 22nd meeting we held to vote on the RFCAs that we'll discuss later.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Eric?
Really go for the RFC.
Do you have the copies of RFCAs?
I do. Okay, my copy.
Sure. Okay, the special meeting we had with the finance committee on the 22nd was to review and approve two RFCAs or future RFCAs for the finishing of the parking lot paving and also the new approach that we are putting in, which actually it was wide enough, but it didn't have enough flare on the entrance. So when you pull in, you don't hit the curb. And so nonetheless, the first RFCA or general ledger number is 1585-00. And it is for the sum of $43,338.20. And that will be coming from operating budget. And the winning bid company is T Moss Grading and Paving of Warren Road in San Joaquinto. And that is my motion to approve that. Now, again, note this is from operating because this is a new project.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Okay, the second RFCA that the finance committee also approved was general ledger number 8609-05. Is in the amount of $29,547 from reserve. And it is for the replacement and repair of the sidewalks in the parking lot and the curbings, gutters, stripings of the parking lot not originally approved. That is for $29,549 from reserve, and the vendor selected is T Moss from San Joaquinto.
I'll second it.
And that had the approach, the existing approach that we removed and replaced
Correct.
was part of that spending. So
Correct.
that was
That's
reserved. Yeah.
It's one discussion item on that.
Mhm.
We talked about there's an option to slurry coat the rest or chip and seal the rest of the lot so it'll all match. When will that come up as an issue? I want to make sure that gets done. We don't lose that opportunity.
No, that option is there, but then we also got another bid to do another part of this, and we'll talk about this as a board or next week sometime, but they gave us to where they go down about 3 inches, off the top of the surface. That was they gave us a bit of like $9,000 to do that. That's just for the in parking.
Right.
Now the end's probably 2 years out before it gets resurfaced. So, I mean, we're getting close to that point, so.
So to Eric's point, that's a grind job. So we're saving a huge amount of money on this. They gave us a bid at about $9,800, and only because they were already mobilized in and they had the equipment here. I think if we brought them in next year to do this job, it would be double that,
I
probably.
would think so.
So they're gonna grind 1.5 inches off that parking lot. Anybody that walks that parking lot, and I know Bill and Jack brought this up, and I appreciate you guys bringing that up, and I walked it the next day, and it's got the Mona Lisa effect going through it. It's really broken up. And so when they grind that 1.5 inches, then they're gonna go and they're gonna tape those joints, and they'll do some repair to those cracks before they put that new 1.5 inches. But essentially, when it's all said and done, you'll have a brand new, optically, a brand new parking lot from one end to the other, and it'll integrate really well. Because everywhere we saw cut that thing, even with the seal coat, that's gonna all telegraph through. So it's a great opportunity, and thanks.
So, and for the continuing on the discussion on this motion, to your point, it's coming from reserves because the driveway, the access is an existing piece of our property, and it does not meet code now. And so that's why it's also coming from reserve. So I would like to comment on the rest of the asphalt. I believe that this board should take that on as something immediately. And do this to do I spoke with the inspector when he was out there, and he said, "What are you gonna do with this?" And I said, "Well, we're gonna do an overcoat." And he goes, "Oh," because I recommend you grind it and pave the whole thing.
Mhm.
So anyway,
And to Bill's point, that grind and pave on that existing parking lot won't come out of operating money, it'll
No,
come out of
it's
reserve as
already-
well. But it's a heck of an opportunity. right now to take advantage of.
Well, it'll add to longevity as well. We won't need to reseal that for many years,
Right,
which saves a lot of money in the long run. It's probably way more than $9,800. So, yeah, somebody like to make a
We
motion.
did the motion.
Oh, we don't need that motion. Okay, all in favor of the spending of the reserve funds, RC?
I,
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
All right, so. We also had the audit return, which everyone will receive a copy in the mail. As Eric alluded to, it was a very nice audit. We had only literally two areas that were kind of confusing of how they would be posted, and so those were corrected. And then the other three were items that the auditors do as a matter of practice every year, you know, taxes, things that we don't know about at the time that we're preparing it. So David Cadillo is a rock star, in my opinion, in doing that and pulling all this information together and giving the finance committee a better and more accurate information to make our decisions on. But with that, I would like to move that we approve that 2022 audit. Today.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next up is golf committee and Steve Ekstrom.
That's why I gotta reach behind me. There was something else. Kelly is babysitting her grandkids up in San Francisco, so she can't be with us today, but she gave a report that I could deliver. I think we're gonna, yeah, later on, we're gonna also be approving the golf calendar. I think we talked about it a little bit last meeting. We're gonna switch the senior club championship and the President's Cup. That way, the finalists, the last, semifinals and finals of the President's Cup won't butt into the weekend of the senior championship. It kind of creates a better flow, less conflicts. And we also changed the date of next year's closing tournament to accommodate the Canadians. We're going to swap the MGA's monthly tournament with the closing tournament. It's not going to be perfect for everybody or all the Canadians, but most of the Canadians will still be in town when we have that particular tournament. Shelley, I'd like to thank all the committees, members of the golf committee, of course, as we come to the end of the year. In the coming, the end of this season, April 30th, we're going to have For the Kids. It's a charity Texas Scramble four-person team golf tournament. Benefits the Art Foundation of Desert Hot Springs. This actually says a two-person scramble. So we got to clarify. There's flyers in the pro shop on that one. Cost is $125 per person. It includes raffles and a live auction. But it's a fun event for a good cause. So I hope you take a look at that. Yeah.
Can I ask for clarification on that? The kids are playing or?
No. It's to benefit a kids' charity.
Benefit kids, okay.
Let's see some of the highlights of this year's tournaments. We had the SOS Ride tournament in September with a full field, and each foursome had a Marine playing within the group. The upcoming season, we have arranged for a bus from the Marine base in 29 Palms. So we're looking at maybe even greater Marine participation. So I guess the bus is courtesy of Ken King. I mean, you guys know Ken King, a former member that fled to Florida. Golf tournaments and events had great participation. Recognition of a few winners are in order. The men's club championship was won by Rob Stoyer. Women's club champion was won by Kathy Spence. Men's senior club championship also won by Rob Stoyer. And the Senior Women's Club Championship won by Edna DeChamp. Lori Ayers won the Women's President's Cup, and Kevin Quirk won the Men's President's Cup. We've reevaluated whole 11 tee boxes, and Pat Hobbs and Dave Goldstein are reviewing the handicap assignments of each hole. The backstop on hole 17 was addressed, and now is back to the original design where the balls come off the first about 2/3 of the hills behind 17, which I did today. And then on 10 as well, around the back of the upper deck on 10. And I made an eagle in the skins on that one because of the slope, because of the shaved slope. So that was worth $94 to me. So May 13th is our MGA WGA combined tournament. This will be the cross country tournament, which is a lot of fun. It has a limited field, so sign up early to that one on Chelsea. The committee members this year were Julian Baldazani, Dwayne Liebelt, Andy Carney, Pat Hobbs, Sue Ketchum, Barry Ayers, and I was the board liaison. And she'd also like to thank Eric Karros, our GM, and David Goldstein, our director of golf, for helping us create the golf season golf calendar. Thank you.
All right. Green Committee.
Chester. Just want to take the time to kind of recap a few of the things that we got accomplished with the Green Committee this year for 2022. The main pump and booster pump installations were completed. Those projects started with the previous committee. New shade structures were approved and completed to protect both pump stations. Golf course equipment inventory completed. We did a bird abatement on the lake, try to come up with a safe way to discourage birds from landing on the lake. That was effective when not tampered with. And during the year, the committee looked at ways to reduce or try to control golf course maintenance expenses. We looked at historic water use, the cost of the electricity used to pump it. We recommended reductions in maintained turf by narrowing the width of overseeded rough, allowing some areas to go dormant, and to allow some areas to go back to desert. And lastly, we identified areas of the course that we could put demonstration projects. We actually chose one, and as Eric mentioned, it was completed last week along 1, 17, and 18. We encourage the future committee to continue to look at ways to reduce golf course maintenance costs. That's it.
Thank you, Chester.
All right, House Committee.
I don't think I need a microphone either, since there's so few people here.
Sometime for Zoom doesn't pick it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Why didn't you tell them that?
Been waiting for you.
Since I have the mic, I'll make some comments on reports that have already been given. One thing I know that with the ACC committee, their focus has been on those weeds. And I know that you know, as well as we all do, that with this rain, it's been very difficult to control the weeds and to get them out in a time, pulled in a timely manner because it's raining all the time. So I don't know what our bylaws or whatever contain that would alleviate some of the people getting ripped for things like that, but I would hope that the committee would take that into consideration.
Actually, what we've been doing is we went through with an initial list. And that was the first list that would be even going to hearing at this point. Any subsequent list would be going to violation. So they wouldn't go straight to a hearing. So that it gives people a little over a month and a half to get things taken care of. And hopefully with this next rainstorm, which I probably have said 6 times on, this might be the last one for a while, but I don't know.
We've got a flow pattern that's gonna probably carry all the way through April.
Yeah, it's been bad. You know,
It's been good, but it's been bad.
yeah. They're just looking to try to, you know, I mean, if you got weeds, do your best to try to keep them down. That's really what it is. But if you got weeds this tall, then we know they've been around for a little while.
Another comment that I would like to make is the one given by the condominium member on the people walking the dogs on the condominium grass. I've been on the House Committee for a few years back, 2018, maybe 2000, couple of years there, and we were trying to get a dog park in here, which would not, nobody would allow us to do that because of the liability of having a dog park. Yet we have grass and people are going to use that grass. So I think therefore the House Committee should go forward again and try to, if we can't put in a dog park because of liability, maybe we should just find a place where we're going to allow people to walk their dogs on a leash and let their dog relieve themselves in an area so that we don't have people going down and infringing on the condo. Maybe that would be a solution for them.
They infringe on us.
Pardon me?
I said they infringe on us. They walk our streets and they do not pick up their food.
Right.
Trust me, I walk all the streets and I know.
Just one comment about the condo homeowners is remember that they pay both the condo association
Right.
fee and our fee, our fee. They are full MLCC community owners and members. But we are not condo association. The homeowners
Right.
here are not condo
Right.
association members. So it's really not a two-way street. It's a one-way street.
No, but I'm just trying to get alleviation for them.
Well, it
If
just.
we would do.
Yeah,
what-
you're
what we
saying
should-
recognize reality, right?
If we would, yeah, if we would accept responsibility for our pets in our area, then we wouldn't have to worry about them going down and using their grass area.
We only go over there, basically more so in the summer when it's too hot and we can't walk them on our streets. These streets are too hot. So if we can't walk on it, the animals can.
Right.
So that's basically why I go over there in the summer. Is because it's just too hot and that's not fair to the animals.
No,
It's just that's their property now.
But hey, I clean up now.
I know, but still.
You know, I walk their dogs over there when I take care of them.
So Judy, before you got here today, there was a presentation by the condo association, pretty in depth with their concerns and
And I understand, I take care of animals over there, and when I walk those animals in the condo, I see poop everywhere over there. So they're they're not cleaning up theirs either.
Okay.
So I mean, and
Yeah.
I've seen it, I mean, I was over there for 22 straight days, so I saw a lot.
so maybe they need to get poop bags and disposable receptacles as well.
Peggy,
Anyway, it was just a comment. Yeah, thank you.
I was just gonna piggyback on Wendy. I do think we do need to look into dog parks, and I've been to several other very nice golf courses that do have them. It was only the liability issue, but it's also cleaning it, the fences, the maintenance, people having to, who's gonna clean it?
Handicap.
There's a lot of things that have to go into that, but I think it's workable. If you have responsible dog owners, have to have a large one, or have time for large dogs, time for small dogs. There is the liability of somebody's dog or getting bit. But you sign waivers, hopefully that helps, but yeah, there's a lot of issues that have to be looked into, but it's doable. It's just finding the place
Mhm.
to do it.
Okay.
Can I, years ago, when Susan Poppy was here, she looked into it. It would cost us a fortune. She looked into all, and she's got the stuff should still be there with all of her paperwork of what it would cost to put it. I mean, I was all for it. I mean, like I said, but the problem with the pricing is just outrageous because we have to have security over there because it's dogs get in a fight. We have to have insurance. If dogs, hurt another dog. I mean, it's monumental what it would cost us.
well, it sounds like, and some of this discussion was earlier, but it sounds like the board is quite possibly gonna take that up again. I know Eric, it sounded like Eric had been looking into it From just the conversation I overheard. Now, the board hasn't had any discussion, it hasn't been presented with it, but yeah, it sure sounds like this club needs to take up the issue again and see
Right.
what the actual costs and amenity value is gonna be to the members, and it's just one more amenity, and I think we're all trying to get as many amenities as we can here, right?
Right.
Okay, on with our report. This year, the House Committee has been very small. Judy Grant, Pat Kaufman, Jenny Dales, and I have made up the whole committee with our liaison, Dave Stanley. So this is a pretty small committee, but we've still been working very diligently trying to get some things done. Lack of funds hasn't helped out a whole lot, but we're making improvements there, and I appreciate that. Thank you. We started with our season opener and with the farewell to James. When James left, he gave us quite a large list, a checklist of things that needed to be done here at the clubhouse that have been put off. And we're starting to cause real problems. Some of those things included the resolving the door locking mechanisms in the doors to the sand wedge, the doors to the entrance downstairs. I believe the door upstairs. So I believe those have all been taken care of. Other things were some air conditioning issues and then the huge pool one that we weren't expecting, I don't think. There was something about the pool, but I don't think it was quite that big of a deal. We've had a lot of sewer issues this year that were on his list of things that needed maintenance, and they just kind of blossomed. Season opener, we helped out with the ad hoc committee that Dave Stanley put together. We did the 50th anniversary book sale, the museum. Those book sales, we've received about $232 in sales on the books. The drink tokens I noticed the other day are still being used, so that was a good investment there. Window blinds have been added to the gym downstairs. We had a presentation by Ollie, the Lifelong Learning Institute, and have you heard back from her since they did the lesson here?
They said it was it was popular and they were hoping to book another, they haven't got back to
Okay.
it on a date, but she's willing to do another class up here.
Okay. Good. Employee Christmas party, we also take care of that every year. And we're hoping that we have more money next year for the employee Christmas party. We are started planning for updates that are supposed to be done during 2023. And we kind of table that until we get some of the other things. We have started, but we have not had any meetings recently until we can get some more of the projects done upstairs. We're working on the flooring upstairs, carpeting, replacing that tile runway, or not tile, the vinyl. And we're also looking at removing this wallpaper and painting in here. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Next up is some member communications. Would be Sam.
Well, it's been a great year for members communication. A new website was introduced to the club. That's been in the works for, well, at least 4 years, if not longer, and nothing ever got completed. Well, it's completed now. And thanks to Mari, our esteemed leader, and everybody else on the committee. I was a lucky guy to get this liaison for this committee. Mari, outstanding job. Ken, thank you so much. The other people that were involved, Lacey, Love Clausen, Greg Stark, Sue Ketchum, Sandra Rodriguez, and to some extent, Dan Buccino. A huge thanks goes to Erin in the office. She does a tremendous job on the newsletter. And it looks great. We've had nothing but positive response. As far as what we're looking for in the future, we're going to have probably, I think we said on a quarterly basis, have a tour for new residents. They'll come up, meet with Eric, and show them around the club, show them the amenities, try to get them a little bit more involved with the club. Also putting a YouTube video together where they could just look at that and it would show all the amenities of this club also. We also had a newsletter named contest. It came down to two submissions out of, and I think we had, how many submissions, Maura, you remember?
About 30.
Yeah, we had 30 different submissions. Everybody voted what they wanted. And it came down to two, and the first one was MLCC Desert Living. The second was the Mission Lakes Messenger. And I'm proud to say 150 people voted on these. That's pretty good. Okay, for really not even having the website going and the new paper. Anyway, the winner, and it was submitted by Raymond Mestis, is the Mission Lakes Messenger. And we need to do something here on the board, I think, to.
So we'll have to bring it up at the next board meeting and put it on the agenda.
To put it in.
Because it's in the charter, it's the old one, so.
Right. But 91 votes went to Mission Lakes Messenger, 59 votes to MLCC Desert Living. So congratulations to Raymond. As far as new business, Mari is retiring from the chairmanship. Unfortunately, we're going to miss you. But we've got one person only that I've gotten a application for the members communication. So if you know of anybody that would love to be on this, and it's a great group, please submit a application. Other than that, I'm just proud as punch. So thank you.
All right, Heidi.
All right, so I don't know what happened to Larry this morning, but I miss him. I'd like to thank Larry for doing the COPS program, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this program. There's no telling how many crimes the cops have prevented from happening just driving around the neighborhood. I know last month he mentioned that there was a RAV4 going around taking packages, or they suspected him of taking packages, but we don't know how many of those they prevented, just for the visibility. Hopefully he'll be here at the 1:30 meeting, and he can give you guys an update. I know he always talks about people leaving the garage doors open, so I'd like to encourage everybody to check your garage doors before you go to sleep, so you don't get critters or criminals coming into your house. I'd like to take this time to talk about the dog park idea. I've talked to some of the members about that. There's a lot of people here that would like to see a dog park or a place that we're authorized to take our dogs. And they have some ideas, so I'll get with you about that, and we'll discuss some of those things. Anyhow, that's my report.
All right, Pool and Rec. Eddie.
Pool and Rec.
Yay.
Did you only have 5 minutes?
Only. Harry, can you hear me okay? We had a wonderful turnout for volunteers this past year. We have 11 members on the committee. I think that's the largest group of any of the committees, and they are all active.
13.
13, close second. And involved. This past year, we worked mostly on other activities besides golf and the obvious, the swimming pool itself. So we've worked on bocce ball, we've looked at lawn bowling. We're of course always working on pickleball. And some of this has to do with funds available. Certainly the pickleball does. So that's a couple of years off before we get to that point. But bocce ball came up as the one we wanted to get started first. And has been mentioned by Eric, Larry Caribou and Tim Hagan took it upon themselves to go out and buy the materials and do the work to construct that bocce ball court out on the lawn area, which was great. And what's even better is that I think between 28 and 30 some people showed up on Friday for an initiation of bocce ball, which is very cool. And so I think moving on from there, that's going to be an activity and an amenity that the members will play, because I know a lot have asked when they're non-golfers, what the heck can we do? And so this seems to be the theme throughout. So thank you again to Tim and Larry. They did a great job. Eric, you talked on the ADA restroom, and I'm glad to see that that's progressing. Those guys as a subcontractor have done pretty good in terms of getting it going. I'm happy about that. Our fitness program this past year here at Mission Lakes has been very successful. We've had record numbers in our classes and had to start a second class to help with the crowds that we've had in the classroom. And so that's been very successful as well. I think that the participation by our members, deserves a big thank you. And of course, I've said that for them before. They've done a great job. And I think that's about it for us. We've touched on the important things, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
I would just like to say thank you, Eddie. You've been a great
Good run.
chairperson. And I know you're retiring this
What?
year.
We didn't vote
So.
on that, Eddie.
No, you didn't vote on it.
Who would
Guess what?
recommend for a new chairman? And and I actually don't have any applications from our returning members yet.
I'm sure you'll get them.
So
I hope, because they all want to serve again. So we'll see. I'm surprised that you don't.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Just remember, we know where you
Thank
live.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Thank you, Eddie.
You're welcome.
Future planning.
I'm gonna speak on behalf of the committee today. Bill Anderson wasn't able to be here, but he did a nice job of laying out our last meeting. Bill does a phenomenal job of being prepared for a meeting, like some of our other people that we're losing this year when they run a meeting. And so it's kind of nice following up on some of his work. I'm going to read the first of this. We had a couple of guests in at the last meeting, and they were from Mission Springs Water District regarding our proposed sewer plans moving forward. So bear with me. I've been a little foggy since surgery, but I'll do my best. The reference committee met on March 7, 2023. The first topic of discussion was the pending septic to the sewer conversion project. Mission Springs Water District personnel were present. That was Mr. Eric Weck, engineering manager, and Mrs. Marion Champion. Now Eric spoke to the process and that the project is now 60% designed out of the 100% design that's going to be expected. And they expect it to be at 100% by this fall. Construction could be started thereafter, depending on funding. And we did learn that the funding is really sketchy right now. Not a lot of money, in the Corps of Engineers, it hasn't committed to any money so far on that. I don't see it on here, but we also spoke with Mrs. Champion on trying to get Mission Springs Water District to take a position on the effects of ADU building in a club like ours, which if anybody's paid any attention to the new state laws of ADU building, it's going to exacerbate an already big problem we have here with our septic systems being right across the street for one of their major deep well clean water sources. So our concern, many of the members of the club's concern on the ADU building is they're going to push these septic tanks to the point where they're going to be even a bigger problem. So we know we've got a little bit of a fight on our hands moving forward to maybe control the effect of Governor Newsom's legislation. And we were hoping to get Mission Springs Water District to take a position that we could use moving forward. And they agreed to do that. The last topic was the structural evaluation. We've talked about that before. This committee is serious about finding out what our potential is for this clubhouse moving forward. Do we have the ability to entertain a remodel project on this, or do we have the structure that's going to be able to handle that? So we were super excited. We didn't believe that the building plans existed. We didn't believe that Riverside County had the archives to go back as far as what we were. And thanks to Eric, I don't know where he dug around. I didn't even know we had a basement here, but he came up with the original building plans. And they are so old that it's like the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's like we were afraid to even roll them open. So we're going to try and get those copied and in place. But we're excited. We can look at the original construction from the concrete up on this building. You know, this committee would like to work with Wendy's House Committee, and we'd like to have a future joint meeting over the next few months with the House Committee and try and see how the two can work together and articulate both of these committees' role in looking at our plant structure here. You know, we were supposed to have a motion to adopt our charter today, but I'm a little foggy on if that makes sense or if we should do that in the next meeting. Because we're adopting a charter for a committee that's done now, because we're going to make the new one.
Yeah, and we approved the ad hoc committee to continue until we do have a charter. I would like to recommend respectfully at this time that before I motion that we have 7 people on the committee instead of the 5. That's 4 voting members. Now what I recommend is we have 7 like the finance committee, and perhaps we have 2 or even 3 board members on that committee, but I don't like the restriction of the reserve people, the alternates. And the reason for that is I've learned in my 2 years as treasurer is that part of my responsibility is to bring along this next crop of volunteers who haven't been exposed to that subject matter and put them in position where they have to think deeply before they vote. And alternates you're supposed to have, or there's a recommended 50% mixture. So those are my recommendations for this new board. I hope you listen to that. I think with more voting members and more alternates, we represent the club in a broader brush, if you will. That's all I have.
No, and thank you for bringing that up, Bill. And that is exactly how we put this forward to our legal counsel, and it came back with the reduced amount. So that's exactly what we say. And then for what it's worth, there's been a lot of consternation on reinstituting this committee. So we tried to clean it up and really get a pretty good idea of the responsibilities. And there was a little discussion involved because some of the committee members go back 15, 20 years on previous examples of our future planning committee. And back then, the job scope was different. So we had to clean that up in our meeting. And one of the things we cleaned up was the responsibility for looking at reserve fund spending as it pertains to the rolling stock out in the maintenance department for the golf course. And this committee is in total agreement that that needs to stay with the Greens Committee. And so we cleaned a few things up moving forward, and I think we're all on the same page. Thanks, Bill. That's it for future planning.
All right, we need to kind of wrap this up because they wanted to be able to start counting ballots at 11. So let's try to roll through this new business pretty quickly. We have an approval of the 2023-24 golf calendar.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve as presented the 23-24 golf calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next on the agenda was just a simple clarification of CCNR. It's a 6 point, there's a typo on this, it's 6.6.5. It would be L and J. And basically what the ACC came up with was planter wall setback being 42 inches. They don't want anything right up against the curb on the street. They're looking at something about 42 inches away from the curb roughly. And the walls not to exceed 24 inches in height. And this would be in the 20-foot setback from the front of the house. So we do allow people to build 3-foot courtyard walls without variances. These would also be built without variances. They're just basically something that they would allow. And then also the fact that we do not use wood or vinyl for those particular items. We use natural stone block with stucco finish. So we just wanted to just put that in on the rules and regulations, just to enhance that, so it gives people more of a descriptive notation instead of just 8 inches. So
not any kind of a governing documents
No.
change or rule, just a clarification to give some
strictly
understanding.
that, we want to just add it to that. So for future people coming down the pipe, they have some consistency. And so I'd like to recommend to the board to adopt this, and we'd have to post it for 30 days.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve that language to be added to our rules and regulations for posting for 30 days.
Okay, then second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we have board policy rules and regulations covering a bidding process. Dave Stanley.
You know, on that one, we're gonna table that for a minute, but there's, I've got two motions here. One's a proposed rule change. And it reads as follows: any MLCC employee, when confronted by a member with a concern or grievance, will have the ability to end the conversation, to diffuse the situation, or return to their job responsibilities, and reschedule the conversation behind closed doors with the member, the employee, and their direct supervisor. So the purpose of this is sometimes we have members that have confronted employees, and the employees have a hard time getting out of that conversation. And so there's times that we need to protect the employee, we got to give them the opportunity to end the conversation, and it's fair to the member that they get to pick it up behind closed doors.
Dave, putting on my former general counsel of a labor union hat, I think it's clear that we need to have language in there that the employee may just jettison that to a supervisor. That the employee does not have to be present. It could be confronted or dressed down by the member. We need to allow an escape clause, not just to defer it and have a manager there, but to be able to opt out of the meeting and just let the managers handle it.
Okay, my motion would,
One other thing too, add HR.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, as far as the exact language, I think we'll clean the language up, but this will be posted for 30 days out here. So you'll see the cleaned up version of this.
The employee can always request HR, either to meet with HR or to have HR present. That's not something we need to include because it's part of state law.
Yeah, we automatically do it.
Yeah. So,
That's the motion.
all second,
Do we have any discussion?
I had a comment on that. My comments are
Oh, is that on this?
We're talking
Oh,
about-
okay,
new business, because that was what Dave was talking about.
gotcha.
Okay, and a lot of it has to do with, Steve's comments. My experience in the past has been with where you put an employee in a situation where he may get defensive because he's in the same room with a member and the employee's supervisor. I would agree that it's better if that employee is not placed in that position. Because it does put him in a defense, and sometimes that doesn't bode well at the end when they go out and seek counsel. You know, because of that. So, as Steve had said, there's an opportunity to let the manager do it, or what you guys do when there's a problem is that you bring each one in individually and then make a decision accordingly.
Yeah,
Rather than put them in the same room at the same time, because board a few years ago had that and it ended badly. So that's just my.
Yeah.
I have to agree, and it's, at first I thought this isn't needed, we have policies already in place, but in reality, this is like hitting the pause button. Let cooler heads prevail, and I fully support it.
You know, the most recent example of being a problem actually involved a supervisor. So it would have been the supervisor in the room, but your point is well taken in the other observation by our attorney at the table here and Bill. So thank you very much for your input. And I think it'll be, a good rule in place for the employees. So if we haven't voted.
No, we have. Aye.
okay.
Somebody
All in
say
favor, all in favor.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay,
Okay, my second motion, this motion is titled Motion for Soliciting Bids. And I'll give you my motion and then we'll have discussion, but the motion is written as follows. No member or member of a committee will solicit bids on behalf of Mission Lakes Country Club without prior approval from the board of directors. That is the language on the motion.
I'll second that.
do we have any discussion on that?
I would like to, clarify that a little bit, some of the concerns. We don't want to stifle committee involvement at all, but we need to have a little bit more oversight into this process, because I think what you're going to find is our bidding pool for engineering firms or contracting firms is kind of a finite pool in the Coachella Valley. And if we have members going out soliciting bids on behalf of Mission Lakes Country Club, and then later on the general contractor found out that there was no legitimacy and no authority to that. It only happens once or twice. These contractors will not bid to us again, and it hurts our reputation. So I think that's kind of the spirit behind it.
All right,
So I think it should be clarified how that desired for a quote be given to the board. I assume the liaison would bring that. And then further clarify how many people on the board can you approve it with 2 people, or do you have to have a special meeting, or how is it approved that they go about doing that? So you don't slow things down.
My vision on this, it's an important enough issue that I think it should go to a board vote. And if it required a special meeting, then that's probably, if time was of the essence, I think we would call for a special.
That's just part of the language I'm recommending.
Yeah, okay. go.
Okay, so do we get a motion on that?
Yes.
Just made it.
Okay,
He made a motion.
want to make sure everything's good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Got it. Okay, lien delinquent list.
All right, we have one authorization to lien a delinquent homeowner. It is APN number 661-062-002.
All right. Okay, meeting adjourned. Oh, and we have to do the skip card. There we go.
Oh, we got some more business before we adjourn. Yes, we do. So I would like to, take an opportunity.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
On behalf of the board to embarrass a couple of board members before they leave. And the first board member I'd like to embarrass is Bill Aldridge. And I'd just like to say, there's a lot of conversation on what the hardest job has been on any board of directors, and arguably the treasurer comes right up there, and it's one of the hardest positions. But this gentleman, my observation, what this gentleman did for the membership of this club in the last year cannot be overstated. And Bill, just on behalf of the members of the board, we've got a little token gesture. If you come up and grab this for me. And you being the numbers guy, it represents every hour you worked on the board to a value of about 12.5 cents. But I'd also like to recognize Denise, because every board member, there's another person paying a price. But Bill, thank you so much. The other person I'd like to recognize is actually going to take another turn here for another year, and that's our board president. And we'd like to recognize him at this time for his role as the interim general manager when we were without one. And then back to Bill. I'm sorry, Bill, I was going to say, any members that see this guy out on the golf course, please thank him for what he did. And the same with Jim Nelson. But back to Jim. We really appreciate the role that you played as interim general manager and being the board president and trying to do your business at the same time. But if the membership doesn't realize, this man probably saved the membership here tens of thousands of dollars when we were seeking a new general manager. So Jim.
Thank you.
He worked for a lot less than Eric.
Well, I'd like to thank actually all my board members and also all the committee members. It takes so much effort in order to be able to do what we do here. And the committees support us so strongly. We need the volunteers, we need the people. There's no way we as a board could run this place without all those folks as well. And I think we all, I'd like to make a round of applause for all of you guys that are out there helping us. And also the membership, but my board associates here, thank you very much for your support throughout the year. And we'll miss you, Bill. That's for sure. I heard rumors, man. I heard rumors. Anyways, and
Thank you all.
Thank you. And thank you, Eric, for all your help too, and the staff.
And I'd just like to say one thing, because we have a board member here that's here on a very special day.
Oh, yeah.
It's Sam's birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sam.
And thank you for not having birthday candles, because it is, the fire marshal said no on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say one last thing. I want to say one last thing. A lot of people, I was trying to buzz through my committee issues, and so I didn't spend a lot of time because we only had an hour, but that finance committee this year was remarkable. The volunteers were incredible, very talented. We accomplished a lot. We created a brand new certified system for developing the budget. It's bulletproof almost. It coincides with what Eric's trying to do with his managers. They're intimately involved and they take accountability and will be recognized and also measured on their performance of the budget. So when you see anyone from the Finance and Credit Committee, give them a warm hug or a hello, because they deserve every bit of it. We put in a ton of time. So anyway, I have to say that. Thanks.
Thank you. And number one. Whoever number one is on our list.
First one.
Did anybody fill out a list? Huh?
There's no list.
There's a list.
I think Walt was number one coming into the room.
Did you sign it?
No?
It was up there. I saw it.
There was a list up there. Maybe nobody filled it out.
No, I filled it out.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, it's number one, whoever's number one that we determined,
Walt-
and it's right there.
I like it.
We're not gonna go
Okay.
there.
Hand that to Steve in case he got a copy of it.
Oh, there you
Everybody.
Oh, Jim.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah, I already did a motion to adjourn, yeah. Okay.
Out of here so they can count.
Um,
Weird, but.
Okay, so we